Good afternoon, everyone. I believe this is afternoon. How are we all doing? I haven't been able to talk with you for a while. I've been in a grape fast and been catching up on a lot of work here, and so it's a pleasure to spend time with you. And I love this. I heard the Candyland game, and I remember that one. I think that was out after my time, but I love this. Fruitland. You know, making such a difference, each and every one of you. I hope you guys realize how important each and every one of you are to the whole and to what is going on right now. And I think some of you get a good view of what's going on here and what our mission is, and the importance of each and every one of you connecting to yourself and opening and cleaning out all this karma, all these emotions, all these thoughts, and learning how to enjoy that present moment and giving that God force, which is your love, giving your humility and your truthfulness and all this, giving that out to the multitudes, because this planet is hurting bad. It needs to raise its consciousness, and you're so much a part of that. You have to realize that. You guys are essential to the upliftment or the awakening of those souls on this planet. There are some not meant to awaken, and that's that journey that's going on. But this consciousness needs to uprise. And there's only those that have increased theirs can pass it on and help others increase theirs. Kind of like what you're doing with the diet as well. And it is through the diet that, believe it or not, that this is happening, because it cleans out that acid, anger, opinionated, gossiping, backbiting type of consciousness that does not like differences as opposed to loving differences. That's why there's creation is for the differences. So it's just you're so much a part of that. You Facebook people are just incredible. I'm going to shout out to you guys. And thank you for helping Marcy there. I can just say that for every one of us, the road to Wellville can be difficult at times for all kinds of reasons, particularly moving your diet back into a frugivorish or a fruitarian lifestyle for a while. You will find that level suits man perfectly. I've detoxed myself on and off for so many years, and just tens and tens and tens of thousands of others. And it just in proof all the time how powerful fruit is for this process. Difficult around here to get quality anything when it comes to fruits. I've been on a grape fast and getting organic grapes, and they're so bad around here. It's a disgrace. So I don't know what to say. You know, you each work at your best at finding that and having your grocery stores or your health food stores trying to procure better food. And that's all we can do is just keep passing it around, keep working on ourselves. Those of you who are in pain, like the lady, I think it was a lady that was down on Marcy for that. Marcy's a very good soul, very aware. She knows her business, and she's the first time I've had someone that I totally love and trust in all the years that I've tried to take on someone to help me. She's the first one I really have just 100% confidence and love in. Nobody's perfect. I've had 43 years of this, and so it's hard to give you all of that information. I'm trying, but it's hard to give you all that's stuck in there in places, you know. But those of you who are in extreme pain, it's extreme acidosis, and detoxification can increase that. There's no question about that. When you find yourself in extreme pain like this, get away from the acid fruits and get to the subacid category. If you get too far into the sweets, you might find that detoxification is definitely slower. Might be something you need, though. You can get into the green juices somewhat if you like, but Be that as it may, acids in, acids out. And that's what this journey is. And sometimes it can be very, very painful. And others can have skin exploding. There's all kinds of symptoms that are difficult in detoxification. If anybody ever said detoxification is simple and easy, I beg to differ. I don't care what program you're on. You have to ask yourself if you're truly detoxifying. And then there's all those genetic weaknesses and all those weaknesses that you've created through these years. They have to work themselves out. And these weaknesses and these genetic weaknesses, they let you know it. They put it right in your face, no matter what part of the body it is. And you can have, your digestion can just go down to nothing for a while. All types of things can happen. Painful knees, painful joints, all kinds of things can happen here. Some can be much more gross than that. Vomiting up putrid matter, all types of things, temporary paralysis. There's all types of scenarios that one can go through. You plow through these or get a hold of us and let us help you do that. But a lot of you are learning. A lot of you, like Dimitri, you guys are incredible. You guys are out there really rolling your sleeves up and digging in and helping people restore their vitality, their health, their wellness. And that's key. That's essential. And I can tell you something else that's in our face. The children. I can tell you, we're fighting this one 4-year-old, and it's just sad. I had to agree to some chemotherapy, or, it could be jail for the dad and all kinds of things. And this medical doctor is telling me, well, I agree with the diet, I agree with the herbs, but I have an 87% cure rate with chemo on these children with leukemias. All you can do is watch and see. I don't get it. I told him, I said, your concept of using chemo in the further destruction of tissue is ludicrous. I said, if you can prove you have 87% cure rate. But these are the things that are out there. And some of these egos, I don't know where that is. All I can tell you parents, you go after your kids whether you think they're well or not. You get into those little bodies and you detoxify them and you rebuild those kidneys and adrenals. Remember, every child born today is definitely going to have some degree of major kidney, adrenal, lymphatic issues. How that affects bone marrow or the spleen or whatever other tissue is a given. The liver tissue, the pancreatic tissue is coming through very weak. Obviously, the nervous systems are way down in children. So it is only you beautiful people out there that understand the simplicity of wellness and how to get well is going to get your children and the children of this planet well. You can't treat these children. You can't treat yourselves and get well from that. This is a process that people have to learn. To get well is a process, no matter what symptom you have. It's a process to get well, and it's a total process. I'm going to shoot a video here this afternoon, I think, or in the morning, on all the herbs and why I created them, and I hope this will help you. There will be a charge to that for to recoup our costs, but it won't be much. But it's enough to say I'll go through all the herbs, I'll tell you what I used them for, and understanding the detoxification program and why. Why do we get into the kidneys? Why do we do these things? And that's very important to understand. And so getting your understanding of why the physical body has symptoms is vital. And it's simplistic. This dealing with child services and talking to them. The dad of this child is very smart. Saw a lesion in the spleen of this child from the get-go. Knew iridology, and this is the beauty of that. And it's hard to explain that it doesn't take years of education to learn the simplicity of wellness and how to get well. If this planet learns anything, we've over-academicked ourselves. We're too much academics, and so that breeds the narcissism of, I'm smarter than you. I have all the intelligence. Well, unfortunately, when you see that, you don't have people that cure anything. They've lost their common sense. They've lost their overview because the mind dominates consciousness. And you can't let that happen. If your mind dominates consciousness, dominates yourself, you're lost in the world of thought and ego and separation. And you can't do that. Not and be happy and be well and not to create a fistful of karma. So it is so much better to learn how to be in that eternal now. Bask in your beingness. Enjoy yourself as you are, as you were born. Physical body's a physical body. It's not you, it's what you're using. Your emotions is what you're using. Your mind is what you're using. And these aren't you, but they're definitely tools you use to create in creation, or you couldn't be here. But you have to learn to use those tools and draw back from them when you can. The secret of learning how that they are tools and that they are bodies that you simply are only using, it's not you, will help you free yourself from the eternal movement of creation and the movement back and forth between the positive and negative poles. I said that even if 50-50, one day positive, one day negative, would be hard to cope with. Hard to cope with. Man needs a little more R&R from that. All right, so I want to get to your questions. I know I'm pretty far behind. So, as I've said many times, though, if any of you are suffering really bad, you get on the phone and you call the clinic here. No matter how busy we are, you seek to get help, okay? Because we're all about help, and the Facebook people are all about love and help, and that we are a one, we are a team, and we must always be a team, because if not, the one cannot overcome the many like this. We must become powerful and strong in our awareness, our ability to heal people, our ability to set souls free, and I'm telling you, it will change the evolution of this consciousness of this planet, and it is essential to do that because it isn't just this level that is getting it. You impact all levels, all the worlds of God, each and every one of you impact. You can't just impact this physical world. There is an upliftment of all the worlds of God, including the emotional or astral worlds, the causal, the mental, the etheric. You each are responsible for the upliftment of all creation. So it's pretty darn cool. And I'd love to have every one of you on board in helping us to do that. The suffering is regurgitating. The amount of negativity and the killing of others is regurgitative. And get these people all on fruits and it'll change your whole demeanor, because a living food diet is a peaceful, loving diet. It's an energetic, high consciousness diet. Hard for those that love to wallow in the mud to do. But, you pull yourself up because it's the only one to get remedy. Excuse me. Detoxing. All right. This is Thunder Shock. Woo, 315. Hi, type 1 diabetic here. Boy, there's a lot of them out there, isn't there? My God. Just some knowledge that I think you may find surprising. If I or any type 1 diabetic, for that matter, ate a piece of fruit without covering it with insulin, my BG levels go through the roof. If I go a day without insulin, I die. There are no such things as insulin-free carbohydrates. You are very wrong, my friend. Well, I'm sorry, Thundershock. You are wrong. I work on a lot of type 1s. And if you get through the glucose loading, what I call, and you get through the breakdown, you'll find that when you get all on fruit, you'll find your blood sugars coming down and down and down and down. If you're that brittle, you keep working on yourself. You can work through your vegetable line, get into the beta cells, but the longer you're on insulin, the more your body doesn't produce insulin. So you're kind of in a catch-22. So I don't care if you're a type 1. Marcy's a type 1. Get with Marcy and have her help you deal with that. But there's no other way to get yourself around that. You can't keep acidifying the body and breaking down the body. You've got to start fixing your body. And the only way to fix it is fruits, berries, and melons. If you want to stay on insulin, absolutely. No one ever said you couldn't or not to. That would be insane. However, you have to learn to go for getting rid of it and learning how to rebuild the beta cells and rebuild the pancreas and rebuild, if it's a neurological diabetes, you've got to get into the adrenals anyway and rebuild that no matter what, because you could be a neurological diabetic. And there's a lot of factors each and every one have to deal with. And I'm sure there's a lot of different levels of type 1s. Some, of course, we've talked about as neurological. Others are the beta cells themselves. We've talked about how post-surgeries have created type 1s from neurotoxicities. So there's all kinds of things. You just go after wellness. If you have to use insulin to control your blood sugars, by all means do that. But continue to go after your wellness, because carbohydrates are essential, my friend. You can't get away from them. If you try, you will never get yourself well, because you're moving into what? Proteins? If you restudy proteins, you'll find that is not food for man. It's not food for any animal. You put an omnivore, high-protein diet, see what happens to your dogs. Not good. Not good. Pop tumors, get cancer all through them. Not good. You can't do that. You have to have carbohydrates. That's essential to all life. Carbon and oxygen, my friend. Essential. So work on your health. And if you can't deal with fruits, go with vegetables for a while. Move yourself up. But we've said it many times, fructose is not an insulin-dependent sugar, and it's a simple sugar and perfect. You have to have ATP, cellular ATP, and you can't get it through protein. You don't burn down your cabin walls to get energy. Not smart. All right, Dr. Robert, can I do exercises and sports during the detox period or not? Sure, absolutely. Or should I slow down and give my body a rest? Well, an excellent question. I will say this. It's all about filtration. Check your urine, each and every one of you, even you type 1 diabetes. Check your urine. Make sure you're filtering. We show this a lot. Thank you so much for the chart. Very good. Important to do this. It's important to understand your lymphatic system and why there's all these conditions. Example, type 1. If you call it a disease and you're fighting a disease, you lose. You will always lose if you treat yourself as you have a disease and you're in the process of fighting that in some way or another. You will always lose the game because it's insane. These are just names for issues that the cells have in your body. Fix your cells, and your cells can all be fixed. They can all repair themselves, rebuild themselves, whether it's the adrenals, the pancreas, the nervous system. It doesn't matter. I'll say this, in detox, rest is really important. And the reason is neurotransmitter shift that helps you to eliminate more. Remember your dopamines and acetylcholines, better at elimination. Hard to eliminate when you're pumping your epinephrines, your adrenalines. You just don't eliminate well. Stress does not create good elimination. So activity should be minor. If you're not filtering, I would say minimal. Walking, swimming, passive stretching, yoga, things like that. Once you're filtering, let the chemistry of your foods do your work for you. I did a lot of stress tests in my life on people, and when we had someone that was ambulatory, someone that could, or someone that couldn't be ambulatory, then we had to give them a chemical. Oh my God, I think it was called Prosantin, nasty, to eliminate exercise within the human body. Ugh, toxic stuff. It bites the tongue. But let your chemistry do your walking for you when you're not filtering. And if you're not filtering, like I've said, get up in these acid fruits, get up into the oranges, get up into the lemons and the limes and the grapefruits. Get some astringent action in that body going to help get those kidneys filtering. Adrenals are always controlling kidney filtration, because I don't care what you have, whether it's type 1, type 2, whether you're a lunger, whether you're cancer, it does not matter. You will always find the kidney and adrenals. You'll always find the elimination of cellular waste, acids are compromised at one level or another. You will always find that. And in that will create a genetic downslide of cells. So wherever you are on that side of it, you just have to go in and repair that. And we've talked many times of why fruit, why the consciousness there is designed to uplift the consciousness of the cells. And you have to understand that level of thinking. But good question. Good question. It's all about kidney filtration, guys. And I think a lot of you are seeing that and know that. I haven't had a chance to go through these, so forgive me, I've just been so busy. This is psoriasis. Is this TYJC? My wife is suffering from psoriasis. She went on a health fruit diet. It made her constipated for life, but didn't heal her. Can you help me? Absolutely. Maybe herbs or something more than herbs. It's spread out on the entire body. Another thing I need help is when she is pregnant, she is getting contractions in the 7th month. They stopped it very hard. The 3rd baby, every time she suffered, thank God they stopped it. But they don't know how this happened. Help me, these 2 things. Well, here's the problem, my friend. To detox her in pregnancy could create an early delivery here. I would also use an antispasmodic on her. An antispasmodic would keep those contractions down and let that baby grow. At the same time, I'd be pumping my body through our God's Blend, which is a superfood blend. I'd be putting a lot of nutrition in her, some greens, of course. You can work on her kidneys. You can work on her glands. The gland tonic would be excellent in this case, which would translate into the fetus, because you want this baby strong. And some reason that body wants to get rid of this child and get it out of her. And I think it's because she can't detox well in growing a fetus. So you might want her to get through this period, hold this child and let this child get well, because she's going to have the same problems. Let's go back to the psoriasis for a minute. You know, whenever you see skin problems, you can just pretty much realize that there's a thyroid issue at hand as well. Sweating is low. Check her basal temperatures, but getting her thyroid up is key. The second thing, remember the skin is your 3rd kidney, whether it's acne, psoriasis, I don't care what you call it. Your skin is your 3rd kidney. When it is not eliminating, it's backing up. And when it backs up, the lymph nodes back up, the kidneys are backing up, everything's backing up. When you see psoriasis, eczema, acne, it doesn't matter. You're having kidney filtration problems and probably more, and you're doing dairy products. You're doing too many mucus-forming foods, which you should eliminate. So look at all those factors. Now, when she's ready, you go after it, and I'd start now with the kidneys and adrenals. That's just key, because that'll help that little baby keep the kidney and adrenals. So because there's no question she's going to pass that to this young man or woman, whichever it is. So you have to get your kidneys filtering. Very important that she does this, and make sure her thyroid is up. That's where you can take a glandular. Getting her thyroid up will get the fetus thyroid up, and really help to get that body healthy. Once she delivers, I would go gangbusters. Get the kidneys filtering, get on the lymphatics. You're going to do 2 kidneys. I would do 2 lymphatics. Get into the bowels, clean up the GI tract, use the GI broom, the stomach and bowels. You're going to already use 1 capsule lymphatic formula. That's going to help clean that bowel even more. You can use skin formulas and expect the skin to break out even more. It's possible. It's just like when you went on a fruit diet, she just exploded. Well, that's why, because fruit is expectorating. That's the beauty of fruit. It helps to clean you out, but it gives you a sense, oh my God, look, it just made me worse. Yeah, it's kicking things out, because if it goes out the skin, it means it can't go out the kidneys well. And then after years, it builds up subcutaneously right under the skin, which is all hooked to the lymph nodes. And then you start to see lymph node swelling. This is a serious case. Ever do some saltwater baths? It'll help topically, to reduce a lot of this inflammation. It's all just acidosis. And she just needs to pull this out of her. So do some salt baths. Definitely get on a raw food diet. I'd be 100% raw if I was her. Do your salads and stuff. If you do too many fruits, probably going to be too strong for her right now, and maybe too strong for the fetus, because that's a powerful, powerful diet. People don't understand. They think fruits because no one understands the power of fruits. That's where all the nutrition is. That's where all the power of man's nervous system comes from. This is our food, whether man gets with that or not. A lot of you guys have gotten with that, and look at the differences you guys have reported from this. Yes, it will kick out. Can see symptoms from it. No question about that. Even blood sugar problems. No one's perfect, and in type 2, any blood sugar is going to be a problem. It's simple or complex, doesn't matter. Simple carbohydrates or starch, because it's a sugar metabolism problem. And if you're a type 1 and you're not and your blood sugar can't be controlled with fruit, I suggest that you have an adrenal problem right along with it. It's probably more neurological. So that's what I would do, is hang on. Think about an antispasmodic, because it is strengthening to the myelin sheath and strengthening to the nervous system, and it'll keep those contractions down. Of course, the body's wanting to get this out of her, but it's could be just in the form of detox. Unfortunately, sometimes you might not want to detox, and when you need it. So this might be one of them, where you want to just slow everything down. I wouldn't do any detox herbs in terms of lymphatics, but I would probably do the kidneys and adrenals, or a gland tonic or something on her, and get that thyroid up. Check your basal temperatures under her arms and see how cold she is, that sort of thing, and take care of her in that way. Thank you. This is Marion. Hello, Marion. Yeah, I've been doing all men this morning. I've been doing some protocols here, and all men. Congratulations. Because it's nice to see a lot of men getting their health back. Women tend to take care of themselves more. And it's good to see a lot of males out there getting themselves well. A lot of young males in trouble. How to Detox a Young Child is this title of this, and this lady is from the Netherlands. Woohoo! I love the educating. My profession is, she's a massage therapist, so I can pass on the things I learned here. And also as a massage therapist, and Marcy and I talked at great length about these neurolymphatic points that that chiropractors have brought out years and years ago, that every chiropractor, every massage therapist should get to these neurolymphatic points down the back and across the front here, because let me tell you, they accelerate detox, they accelerate lymph drainage. So it's really key, especially with brainstem or with pressure in the head, especially with tight shoulders. It really helps to open all of this up, stimulates all the glands to function better neurologically through the nervous system and all that. So definitely a good thing to do, honey. She's a raw foodie, and Heal Myself as raw foods and lots of detoxing on all levels, from Celtic and food allergies. Celiac and food allergy. My question concerns my son, almost 5 years of age. When he was a baby, I was so doubting the whole vaccinating thing, but fear and peer pressure got the better of me, and I did some vaccination. I made my own schedule and started at 6 months instead of 2. Well, that's better. I mean, these loaded vax now at these young ages, I just find it's willful destruction of the human being. And maybe that's what the gig is on these higher levels. Maybe that's the World Health Organization's way of finally getting rid of the population, Because it's insane. Anybody with half a mind that just finds this all irrational and insane, that you put toxemia into the human body when babies, especially babies, and only a few months old. That stuff is, I think there's such a fear. Look at what, I look at these two black kids that are playing with these guns, these toy guns at their house, and their school suspended them for a year because they have zero tolerance. Zero tolerance. If we're not careful, the fear that takes over humans will end their freedoms totally, and wake up one day in a very a society like we have in some countries, where you have dictators that can literally control every move you make. We're seeing how that's happening in this country with the present administration. We're seeing that everybody, even the president of Brazil, thank God, the sweet thing, she needs to break all ties off with America. Sorry, you've been spying on me. I would be furious. We're not focusing on that. So this is a big issue here. Everybody's afraid of bacterium, but when you look at the children, the farm-raised children that get the dirtiest are the healthiest. Those city slickers, they get sick all the time because you build natural immunity. Ask any good pediatrician. Natural immunity trumps vaccinated immunity any day of the week. Plus, you run the risk of high neurotoxicity, which has been happening with the thimerosals, even though even though pharmaceutical companies have been trying to pay off judges and there's no neurotoxicity here. Bullcrap. There's way too many children immediately after vaccinations that went into seizures, that went into neurological compromising, went into ADD. It is overwhelming. So you know what? I mean, we live in such a corrupt time. This is why each and every one of you are so vital to the negative forces. We stand tall and strong. We are eagles. We stand strong with love, but we stand strong with truth, because if not, this world will cave in on itself. It's sad. There's so many species out there, not just the Homo sapien. Well, let me see. So what do you recommend on herbs and tonics or otherwise to detox a 4 to 5 year old? He eats no meat, dairy, but some bread and rice crackers and lots of fruit. And well, I think you're on a good love to you too, my dear. Listen, you're on a good focus with him. With the children, I would do, say, lymphatic one, kidney one, endocrine glands, and say the stomach and bowel formula. And I would start working on those avenues of elimination and the glands, because the glands literally control everything, and the avenues of elimination are very key. The children, we also are having digestive problems. If you notice that, you can work with the pancreas or liver, but if you work on the elimination, this is where it reaches in and grabs all tissue and helps. And that's the beauty of focusing on the kidneys and the bowels, because as you correct elimination, the reason why tissue fails in the human body is 9 times out of 10 acidosis and the lymphatic system, not the blood system. So by changing the diet, that's perfect. That's essential. I would say with the children, it is always much more fruit than vegetables. You can use vegetables if you want to accelerate muscle growth. But I can tell you that you can take a fruitarian, and their strength, their agility, their power, their stamina outweighs every one of them. I can't remember, and I was mentioning this before, whether it was Stanford, Yale, one of the universities, I'm talking 40 years ago, 35 years ago, did a study on different athletic modules and found that the fruitarian, they had a cross breed of people at different levels of dietary habits, found that the fruitarian accelerated in every single case. And I'm just saying, it's just hard to explain that, but you're at the most power, you're at the most chemistry, and you're with a body that is made for that. And then you can't deny that. Your bodies aren't omnivorish bodies. I don't care if we eat that way. Your body isn't designed that way. We can eat any way we choose. It doesn't mean your body's designed that way. So I think you're doing really well. I would do some green drinks maybe with the child, or some salad, but I would keep fruit a high order, because academically it'll explode. If you want to get into brain and nerve, you can always do that with the children. Accelerates their academics by far, their ability to comprehend, to analyze. Holy crap, I can't even begin to tell you. The differences are phenomenal. Look at these children that are on these formulas. Upper circuit, brain and nerve, incredible stuff. So getting the glands on and getting the kidneys and the adrenals well and filtering, that's key. And cleaning that body out. It'll clean itself under these actions. And then, of course, you have one lymphatic. And I think that's aggressive enough for the children, to be honest with you. You might try the gland tonic. That's MOI, sex pierced. Question about bones over hardening. Interesting. First of all, I would like to express, thanks. Thank you. The Rockefellers just hate your work. I bet. You know what? And these people need it as bad as anyone else, you know. You know, when you get constipated and narcissistic as bad as the Rockefellers, or the Rothschilds, or the Warburgs, or all these people that think they're so above other people, you know it's a sad thing. There's only one thing guiding creation, and that's God. You know, it's funny to watch the narcissistic view of these people. The sad thing in my thing is how it hurts others. especially the World Bank and its endeavor, the International Monetary Fund, which is part of the World Bank, of course, said that Americans don't pay enough for gasoline. We should have kicked them out right then. I think everyone overseas pays way too much. I've been in Portugal, and the gas prices are unreal. Everybody has to drive little bitty Toyota Corollas. This is a sad thing. It's a sad thing, and you have this kind of power and control over others like this, and you're not breeding spirituality, love, and oneness, and how to get the planet where the food is good and we're not overpopulating it properly. We properly deal with life as it should be. And we have to. If you guys as souls are going to go on to higher levels, you have to get this one down. Because this one emanates all the levels. This is just an effect of thought and emotions. And this is a good world to see the effect of thought and emotions. The problem with these people, they're open to these entities that like power and control, and they're all over the place, let me tell you. It's just, the creation is like that. And it'll help you to get strong, that when you get more involved in your creation, maybe it'll change to a certain extent. Your work as it is a direct threat to their, oh yeah, definitely. But this is too big a scam to be discussed on an email. Oh, this is an email. Do I supposed to talk to it on YouTube? I hope so. I'm writing you because of my girlfriend. Oh, really? Carola? To make her long medical story short, she was diagnosed at a young age with a congenital heart malformation. And you're seeing a lot of that. You're seeing a lot of holes in the hearts and mitral valves and all tricuspids, all types of heart problems, but it's also true in all other tissues. And I've said this before. Go back to a couple of my cases, and I can tell you that I think you guys are going to do so much better than I have, because it's taken me a long time to learn. To go back and forth and learn these things. And with you guys and your brains out there, you guys are really kicking. Dimitri and you guys have so much brain power, and all you guys, Jim, all you guys are just really doing well. And by the way, Ryan, thanks, Rita, for the, I just love the card. Thanks, I know. Thanks, you're doing well. We have to get into genetic remembering of cells. I don't know what else to call it. Genetic remembering of cells. And I told you about a spinal bifida case that was born without L4 and L5. Well, it just makes sense, because that's the kidney vertebrae. And what's notoriously genetically weak? The kidneys and adrenals. So on a 2-year raw food program, she grew where she didn't have L4 and L5. I think that stands on its own to show you. I think I put up the story on Roger on his leg and severe scoliosis regeneration. These are incredible things to show you that you can regenerate the cell consciousness. You can uplift it like everything else. It's not difficult to understand when you go back to some of these videos and you look how I'm trying to lay out creation for you. Once you understand the simplicity of it, this shouldn't interfere with anybody's religious beliefs, because this is just how creation is put together. Religious beliefs is what you do with it. So, I have to say, in that way, getting on these high consciousness programs like the fruitarian diet for a fruitarian body, it just makes sense that when you're consuming foods that are not meant for the respective vertebrae, that it's going to pull on that vertebrae. It's not going to have the impact that foods that are designed for that vertebrae. And so when you look at that, we are frugivore vertebrae. Sorry, we're primatish vertebrae. You can argue omnivore. You can't argue herbivore, but you can only argue it because it's being done even in primates in some places. But you have to look at this planet isn't a utopia for each vertebrae. Every animal suffers to find its food. And so do we in particular. Now that we live in northern climates, it's a real problem for those like Yaz in Thailand. And by the way, Yaz, I don't know where I saw this in your thing, but my God, you're kicking out your fillings. I think I told you of a friend that was a fruitarian with me. He was kicking out his fillings, and finally his dentist realized he was regrowing his enamel. And I'm telling you, if you're doing that, yeah, that is exactly what I'm talking about, even in these cases. But you've been doing deep tissue work. And no, I don't know anybody that's been kicking it like you have. And it's like, damn. So, I mean, these are the people that are setting the standards for the future, all of you guys. And so you get in and you dig, you get that self-discipline. If you cheat once in a while, cheat once in a while for those that can. So what? Just keep digging in and keep working it. Keep working yourself back to Wellville. And that's where you're going to be. And the same thing here with any heart malformations, any malformations in the human body. Your job is to get to the glands, get the pituitary, get the brain, get the central nervous system back on track. Upper circ, brain and nerve, number 1 or 2. I don't care. I like number 2 better. I think we're going to be a little short on that one. But detox that body. Get that body hydrated interstitially. Get the kidneys filtering. Fix all the problems why we have genetic weakness, why we have malformations. Because it's no different than the story I'm telling you about National Geographic that was filming the Appalachian Trail. And they came across these park rangers that were testing the water, and they asked them why they were testing. They said, well, see that 3 or 6 frog-legged leg down there, legged frog, and the camera's focusing, and here was a very malformed frog. And they said it's the acid rain. Now, this is the forestry department. If they know that, how many other people know that? This climate change thing. Acid rain, guys. Acids are heat producing. So who knows how all that is. But no question the air is getting more acidic. That is well established. And we are looking at the malformation of tissue in animals and the malformation of tissue in humans. I watch Dr. Poe all the time. He's such a quirky veterinarian, but I've always said most veterinarians are smarter than medical doctors because they have to learn so much more. There's so much they know, so much they do. I love a good veterinarian. I got a lot of friends that are veterinarians, but sometimes intestines aren't hooked. The other night, intestines weren't hooked to the colon, or the colon wasn't hooked to the anus, and so all the food was staying in the cow. We're seeing a lot of this. But what are we doing? We're acidifying ourselves by the proteins. We got this protein fetish. You will be smart if you take the word protein and go bury it outside and never visit it again. This is the one thing that's breaking down the animals. Who ever thought of feeding? And here's a case in point where we started feeding herbivores, which are way out there even further than we are toward the carbohydrate chain, giving them meat. Feeding cattle, other cattle, feeding cattle, chickens, and hogs. I mean, this kind of thinking, and that shows you how low the human consciousness has sunk, even though we're academically supposed to be civilized? I mean, it's insane. And I don't know, it goes all the way up to the mental worlds. This isn't just a physical thing. It has to come out of the mental worlds first before it can be thought of here, before it can be put in action here. So this shows you how deep in creation, this creation is out of balance right now, and how important you are to this balance. Can't say it enough. So, not to get too off point here, unless to say that they butchered her, that's possible. She was brought in for an emergency surgery operation to place a pacemaker in her chest. Okay, so here's first of all, this is a good clue for you guys. Now look at this. She had to have a pacemaker put in her chest, so she had to have, obviously, low heart rate. Well, whole heart rate could have been for mitral valve or heart malformation. But I'm going to say that look at the thyroid and parathyroid glands always, especially with malformation where you're not getting proper calcium utilization. Look at the thyroid for heart rates. Look at all these things. Make sure the endocrine glands get up into the head, get up into the hypothalamus, get up into the pituitary. If your child too short, how's these growth factors? You have growing pains, which is parathyroid, calcium utilization problems. Get this body turned back to a base or alkaline balance, get through kidney filtration, get the lymph moving, and just get everything starting to regenerate, because tissue cannot regenerate under an acidic, corrosive medium. End of story. So when medical doctors say, I have a high cure rate of using chemo, how? And what's your modus operandi? You're only holding back the inevitable, the destruction of the patient. You cannot regenerate tissue, bone marrow, or whatever with acids. Impossible. It doesn't work. Never has worked. It never will work. It is the wrong medium. So this is the problem. This is why kids are going down. This is why the human race is going down, is acidic mediums. We have to change that in each and every one of us. And it's a trip, you know. Same thing with this young lad. Later, she had a bike accident where her legs and head had been injured. That she lost the sense of taste. Oh, wow. A cloak in her brain. Yeah. And partially the sight in one. Oh, man. This child needs to be regenerated, and I would really get in there and get that lymph moving. Understanding why the lymph is so important to the regeneration of tissue is going back to understand why acids and the role of acids and what acids can do. Acids in minor pH, it's okay, testosterone, estrogen, but guess what they can do in a highly acidic medium? They can exacerbate, they can fuel the fire. So it is key to get interstitial fluids hydrated, and the only way you can is sweat good and pee good, filtration. Essential to do that. So that's the same thing with this young one. And make sure the endocrine glands, I do the gland tonic in your children. This tonic is strengthening to all the glands, and over a period of time, they will become strong, stronger than the parents. So key to do that. She recovered after an additional surgery, operation of her legs. Nowadays, she's a beautiful, tall, pituitary, and radiant 31-year-old blonde woman. Yeah. Well, it sounds like, Mom, you helped to pull her through there. Nevertheless, throughout the year, she was taking various pills and vitamins to help with her condition. Periodically, she had back and lower back pains. Lower back. Remember, kidneys, L4, L5, always lower back. So, go back to that. Understand that in some poor circulation issues, it could be poor lymph filtration, not poor blood circulation. I humbly think that her body is full of toxins. Yeah, get her detoxing. Get her detoxing. She passed a medical examination and got the results 2 days ago. Well, you know what? Take a look at your blood workup. Look at your blood and creatines. Look at her liver enzymes. Make sure that her body's filtering and all that. But that doesn't show a healthy person. The doctor, look at her eyes, get a picture of her eyes, and look at iridology. That's how you tell. That's your look. Iridology is so beneficial. I'm so proud of you guys learning this. It's simple. Keep it simplistic, because you're keeping your life simplistic. And it's the simplest tool you have, but yet the most in-depth tool you have, looking inside. It doesn't look at chemistry so much in terms of what type of chemistry is off, but you can get a homeostasis of chemistry through detoxification, and that's key to understand, because fruits, berries, and melons and vegetables are homeostasis of chemistry. We could argue genetics and hybrids and whether that changes that homeostasis of chemistry, but I'll have to say that I think it probably does minimal. But she is depressed. Again, parathyroid linked to malformation. So I would go after her parathyroid gland. I'd add kelp with that and make sure she gets strong. Make sure her fingernails are strong. Make sure she has no spider veins. She doesn't bruise easy. There's no depression. She has anxieties. Get the adrenals. You're going to go after them anyway. I proposed to her to try a global detoxification through juicing, coffee enemas, and alternative medicine. Well, I back up on the coffee enemas, again, heavy stimulation doesn't get you anywhere. Overstimulation of the gut and liver only serves to create innervation. You can't play in either side, positive or negative, ride the middle path. Always ride the middle path, and that's where the now is. That's where all life is in the middle path. One side or the other, and overstimulation doesn't get you anywhere. Alternative medicine, you don't want to use alternative medicine either. I wouldn't go that way either. I would get into traditional medicine. When I even use the word medicine, traditional healing. Traditional healing throughout the world is botanicals and diet. Throughout the world. Botanical medicine, botanicals are always traditional. Alternative is what the Rockefellers want you to think. We are the smart ones. Is that why last year over 1 million people were killed allopathically? That's pretty scary. And none naturopathically? I wonder. Statistics don't lie. It's their statistics, not ours. She agreed as she has nothing to lose anymore. Well, she's 31 years old, and so she needs to get her body back in shape here if she is. I don't know where she's at on this. I lost a lot of weight, around 100 pounds. Now, she saw the results on me. So you're overweight. So kidneys and adrenals, sweetheart. Go back to that. Look at that thyroid and parathyroid. I'm telling you, if she's too tall, think about the pituitary as a suppressor of those endos and work on those things as well. Do you think, as I do, that there is a way, chance to reverse? Absolutely. You can regenerate the human body. I don't care what. I'm writing you from Poland. Yeah, Poland. Get her. Go after her. High fruit diets. Get into that detoxification as we talk about. Get into the kidneys. Get into the endocrine glands. You can use the endocrine gland tonic to strengthen these glands. Make sure her parathyroid is up and she's utilizing calcium. This is key in rebuilding of any and all structure. Absolutely. It's Balentin. Sorry for the poor English. Don't be sorry. There is no proper English. Of course, some English teachers might smack my hand to that. My grandmother was an English teacher, but I don't know that there's any correct English out there. It's like Spanish. There's lots of variations to it. And who cares anyway? You know, communication. Love, joy, happiness overexceeds one being able to pronunciate better than another. I've been ribbed a lot for not being able to pronunciate words this long. Never was good at that. Never cared to either. Maybe that's why. I'm an old farm boy. We didn't take spelling. Are you kidding? Men didn't do that when I grew up. So there's a lot of us at my age that don't have the spelling ability or the pronunciation ability that we need. So that's a judgment. And to be honest with you, it doesn't stop me from healing people. This is Shiva. Ooh, Shiva. Dear Dr. Morris, I'm admiring your... Oh, thanks, sweetheart. And God bless you too, sweetie. I often share your videos in Turkish, and people ask me questions. You know, I love the Turks, and I really hope that you all around the world, we're going to be more mobile, especially Marcy traveling around the world, helping you guys set up centers. I just hate flying so bad. But I would like to make a world tour here again and help you guys get set up more. But we can help you from here. We've got our school. Come to our school, get learned. And we are here to back you 100% because I love all countries, everywhere. I just feel for all of you guys that are in wars right now and your children are getting killed and your women. Oh, my God. Ooh. You know, if you ever see The Fifth Element with Bruce Willis and stuff, I feel like that female god there. When you look at that, the destruction of this world and the wars, it just wants you to make you cry. It's vomitous. And to think that the world bankers and the Rockefellers manipulate a lot of this is regurgitative, to say the least. The problem with it for these souls is, oh man, I've told you before, I've visited some prisons that are not physical prisons, and it makes you scream out in your beingness. It's so frightening. I don't know what to say, and that's where a lot of these souls, I'm sure, are taken. It's scary. That's why I learned it's better to give love and joy and peace and humility and become a one, and then everybody benefits and everybody's happy, and it's all good. It's always good to keep your people happy. Remember, King Arthur learned that. Keep the populace happy or they'll rise up and kill you. They are asking if they are diabetic, how they can do with the fruit detox. Well, you know, if you have to use your insulins or metformin or anything like that to control blood sugars initially, you got to. But I will tell you that your best way to control blood sugars is you have to have sugars. Don't anyone out there think you can get away from carbohydrates, because if you do, it's the biggest mistake you'll ever make. Because learn anatomy and physiology. Learn the process of what the body requires. The body requires carbon and oxygen minimally. And we know those two factors are burned as energy. And it's essential. And you get your sugars as carbon. Carbohydrates are carbon chain constituents. Yes, obviously, we've been eating way too much starch. We've been wrecking our adrenals through high-protein diet. So, yeah, we got to repair our adrenal glands. So, yeah, you could have some blood sugar problems during the repair, absolutely. But in most cases, you'll find your blood sugar controlled best with fruits, berries, melons, and vegetables. If some are real brittle and you have to stay with vegetables for a while, okay. But fix those adrenal glands to where you can move up into the higher level of fruits. But with fruits, doesn't need insulin. So with fruits and fat breakdown, you're going to have glucose from that. So you do run higher blood sugars in a detoxification because you're going to break down your fat in your body. You're going to get some glucose from that, but you have fructose, so you're going to see blood sugar problems. But as you balance out from that, and that's true with type 1s, as you balance out with that, then your ketone, everything comes into balance and you'll do well. And so you just seek those fruits, berries, and melons that are best for your blood sugars and your vegetables, but you have to have them. Get rid of the starch. There's nothing healthy about starch. There's nothing healthy about grains. That's all a lie. Your best foods for most species are your fruits, berries, melons, and vegetables at one level or another. Your dogs even do better on them. Can they do fruit detox or melon and watermelon detox with a grapefruit? Absolutely. For turkey, absolutely. You betcha. Absolutely. And that's NILUFERXX. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to do that because you can't detox with anything else. That's number one. And vegetables only take you so far. So you have to repair the adrenals. And that's where the herbs, and I have to say, the glandulars come in to help us. And they can help us to repair these, get these cells up and functioning, get your sugar metabolism up to where everything is normal again and everything is good and well. So you have to work with that. And that's why I found that not only diet, but the botanicals are key. We also found the glandulars are essential in today's world, or at least somewhat vital until we find some magic way to put together the herbs in a way that really can power up the glands in a faster way. A bit of a weird question. I like weird. What is your view on drinking your own urine? It's not a weird question. Some people say it's extremely good for health, maybe good for detox. Just wondered, am interested. Love your vids. Love you too, man. Thanks, James. James, I would say this. If you're not filtering, I guess if you're out in the woods in survival, but even the survival man, the Indian guy, the dual survival man, very opposed to drinking urine. I'm on his side too. I know there's Berinsky, but that's refined neuroplasms. I tell you, I disagree with urine therapy at all, totally. I think it's ridiculous. Your urine is supposed to eliminate acid waste from your cells. Why would you consume acid waste back into your body? Insane! Cuckoo! Crazy. You don't do that. If you're not filtering, well, your urine might not be acidic if it's base. But why? Why would you go to that when you can eat a nice handful of grapes? Or you can have a nice juicy watermelon. And let's see, grapes, urine. Tough choice. I think I'm going to go to the grapes. I mean, you got to realize these things. There's so much of this crap out there, and I think it comes from a society that lost its understanding on diet and health and wellness for generations, and maybe haven't had. I'm not sure man has had a wellness for millennium, to be honest with you. I think man has suffered so long, he's accepted it as part of the human experience. And that's not true, and we're here, and we're proving it. All you beautiful YouTubers, Facebook people, you're proving it. All you beautiful souls out there that are working on their health. So I'm with you, James. Nasty. Take a big piece of watermelon. I'm 37 with COPD. God, 37 with COPD. COPD is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And alpha 1, I'm PIZZ. And have severe breathing problems. Well, I've been diagnosed since I was 30. Oh my God, man. This is Nathan. My lung efficiency is below 18%, and my FEV1 is 11%. Can you help me? Absolutely, man. Number one, kidney and adrenals. Might sound like a broken record. Kidney and adrenals. Now why? A couple of reasons. Number one, autonomic nervous system to the lungs. Autonomic nervous system to the lungs. Key, because in your COPDs, it's not just like pneumonia where you're full of mucus. It is neurological. Now, we've talked about COPD before, so you really want to get those adrenals up. And with that probably comes either low or high blood pressure. If it's high, it's just a high is a sign of low, and this is a sign of the kidneys. So you've got to get your kidneys filtering, meaning you've got to bring your adrenals up and your kidneys filtering, cleaning. Therefore, interstitially, and that includes interstitially in the lung, in the wall of the lungs, is going to come clean before those acids create, some of the scarring that's out there. And in scar tissue, you can get rid of scar tissue, but I'm telling you, it is really, really bad. And you've got to get the interstitial fluids in your body hydrated. How you get hydration interstitially means around all the cells is move the acids out that the cells are producing to get that hydration. It's just cell waste going nowhere fast. It's that simple to understand, meaning that the system that's designed to remove cellular poop, cellular acids, is not doing its job. Which system is that? Blood or lymph? Not blood. Lymph, and lymph is tied to the kidneys and the skin. Remember the three eliminative organs of cellular waste and parasitic waste. Essential. So it's essential to get your kidneys and adrenals up. There are some factors. I would also do lungs number 2 myself because it'll help to break up any hardened lung mucus that you can't hear yet that's interstitial. It'll help to break all that up. I would also get aggressive in my bowels. That's all tied together here. These are all branches off the gut tree. Remember, the embryonic tree. So get the GI tract cleaning. Get the GI broom, the stomach and bowels. You got the lymphatic 1 capsules anyway in a detox. Start pulling on that wall. You're going interstitially to get hydration and start moving lymph. Brain and nerve. Definitely use brain and nerve. Number 2, one of them, to start strengthening the myelin sheaths. Very important to go this way, or there's no remedy any other way. And start getting more efficiency that way, man, and you'll do that. Detox yourself. Get in there and do that. And by the way, it'll help, and of course, stomach. This is part of the sympathetic autonomic nervous system, parasympathetic, sympathetic. By cleaning all this, you can even do upper circuit because you're going to get a hold of the parasympathetic as well and the autonomic. So you're going to start resurrecting the whole body as a whole. It's the only way to get well, any of you, holistic, whole body work, not just a little bit here and a little bit there, some vitamins and minerals, wasting your money and time. And you'll get yourself back to wellness, Nathan. And you're too young to live with this. It only gets worse and not good. Are you on oxygen? 2 liters or so, I take it. So work yourself out of this. You can do that. I can tell you, done it with a lot of people. This is Mr. J.H. Eagle. Hello, doctor. I have used your detox solutions hoping to remove sinus polyps, and they have only become bigger. Okay. So here's the thing. You got to get yourself draining lymphatically, because if you're detoxing and they're getting bigger, it simply means you're not filtering. And we've talked about this, and I want you practitioners, this is a good question that this guy has. And this, you can also see this with tumors, by the way. If you got people with tumors, and they could get bigger before they get smaller, only because you've got to get to there. You've got to get all the way up to this sinus cavity, and guess what you got way down below? So you can chew on some horseradish root, you can do some Mucinex, you can candle your ears. Even though these things sound ridiculous, you're opening up the pressure. You're trying to get expectoration. Truly, you're probably loaded all the way in the esophagus and all the way in the gut wall. So you got some work ahead of you, man. So you want to get your adrenals, your kidneys. Make sure your kidneys are filtering. Make sure there's filtration. Make sure there's sediment in the urine. It's essential. And start getting the body sweating, and work on these neurolymphatic points down the back and across the chest. Get the lymph drainage, because you can't change this scenario until you do. And that's why they're getting bigger. And this is also true with tumors, guys. Same thing. The other thing, if you're pulling too hard on lymph and there's no filtration, you could also make the tumors, because these are holding reservoirs. And the more lymph you pull, and there's no filtration down below, you make these reservoirs grow and enlarge. To get them down is to get elimination, expectoration. And both colon and kidneys and skin, all these eliminative organs must be eliminating properly. So you got some work ahead of you. If that's happening to you, not the detox, it's you just are not filtering, and you've got to get this opened up and get all your lymph nodes, everything cleaned, so you can, because this sinus sits on top. It's got a lot down below to clean before you can get up here. That's the problem with brain tumors too, by the way, guys. And all these tumors on people's necks, you got to clean everything down here and get the kidneys filtering before you're going to have big success. So real important to do that. But if you want to get those sinuses purging forward, then you got to open yourself up. But that is a problem, and you want to get that out of there. You want to get these polyps out of there, because that's your brain. And so that's acids on the brain, and that leads to nothing good. All that leads to glaucomas, lymph pressures, and then the MACDs, and then the honey, where did I park the car syndromes. Not good. Take a picture of your eyes. Always, all of you, take a picture of your eyes and look at it. And look at that. We've got some eyes here that you've sent in, so we're going to do some more of this. I've taken off some time here before the class. We're trying to get this level 1 is going to be a whole different level 1, and we're going to record it. And so we're kicking it up another notch. So I've been working on that and doing your protocols and trying to do some fasting. This is Frank. Hey, man, please talk about your personal experiences with your own water fasting. Thank you for everything. Thank you, Frank. How you doing up there, man? This guy's a good healer. Been kicking butt, healing a lot of people. Well, I say this. I got this guy with the sinuses. When you're going after detoxification, stay a little hungry. Because it is water fasting that is generally how most animals deal with cleansing. How they let the body purge itself. All foods create a digestive need to some extent or another. And that digestive need, and you will feel that if you're all used to detoxifying, you'll feel the differences in the foods that you're eating and how it affects your drainage. You can feel it. You don't take my word for it. You get involved with it. Wear the robe, ride the bull, experience it. That's how you're going to know. Just don't always take my word for it. Get in it for yourselves. But water fasting or staying a little hungry is key. This is why fruits are so key to detoxification, even though they're just the natural food of man. It's just, they're so superior than where we are now. That shows you how low the human is, that you require fruits to detoxify when fasting is actually better. But for many, fasting is way out there to do, and hard for a lot of people. They're so used to the high protein diets, the heavy meals, the high starches, that when you're talking about fruits and vegetables, they're hungry all the time. They're starving. They're not starving, but they're coming off of this insane high protein, high stimulating diet to a very simple, energetic, high nutritive diet. And it is hard for them to understand that you must work through this doorway to achieve wellness. And keeping yourself a little hungry is always good, because it allows for better detoxification. Withdrawing yourself, the natural hygienic people, they had fasting institutes for years. We had one down here in Bonita Springs. There was one or two in Texas, Herbert Shelton stuff. And we always fasted you until your tongue turned pink again, because you notice the best way to tell how toxic you are is just spend a couple of days on light food and kind of semi-fasting and see how your tongue coats up. The deeper the coating on the tongue, the more toxemia in the human body, the more acidosis. And red, ripped tongues, not good, extremely acidic. And you want to get these things taken care of. So water fasting is key. I haven't done it. Some of you have done more than I have already. I can't remember the longest water fast I've done, but I don't think it's been more than 15 days. I don't remember that. It's been a lot of, the years are stacking on. But I did more lemons, Carrot juice fast. Oh, and I waste my time. Didn't know any better. Everybody else was doing it. But I was more a fruitarian thinker. I was pulled toward Professor Hotima and Raymond Menard, these people that were fruitarian thinkers, Carrington, things like that. And it was just more sense. It's more rational. It fits into physiology, anatomy perfectly. There's no sense to vegetable eating with Homo sapiens. We do it, but if we want a higher level of beingness. But I'm not advocating that we can get there in this lifetime. I'm not going to put that out there, although if you can, the power. I mean, Yaz is a good example. He's kicking out his fillings. And so when you don't believe there's regeneration in the high-fruit diet, take a look at what some of these incredible beings are doing, like Yaz and Dimitri and some of these people like that. So now water fasting, if you can, even short fast, guys, even 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, whatever you can do to help yourself. This is why fruits are so superior. Stay a little hungry, keep a high fruit diet, and you will clean, clean, clean. Especially when sinuses are coming about. Expectoration is an astringent thing. Look at your astringent herbs. Those are your lymphatic herbs. We use astringents to clean, and that's exactly what you have to think about. So moving into the astringent fruits and berries is as close to water fasting as you can get, and then jumping off into water fasting is the cat's meow. And it really helps. And just moving the body gently down this road is key. Some of you guys in a lot of pain might have to do some water fasting. It might keep you out of pain. You just have to see everybody's individual and how you use that, Frank. Frank's from Canada. Good healer man there. Here's Yoga Girl. Yeah, I love Yoga Girls. Dr. Morris, I love you to no end. I love you, dear. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can you talk about kidney tissue regeneration after a kidney failure? Yeah, that's too bad. Now, that's where I think a kidney glandular is very key. Marcy's been using the kidney glandulars a little more than I have, and we've been talking about some of the successes she's seeing in filtration earlier, and I'm thinking, well, maybe we could use a little more of those kidney glandulars for that. So in a kidney failure scenario, I definitely think the kidney glandular would be a very key factor because it'll help wake up those cells. And then, of course, the kidney herbs are key and essential. And then, of course, fruits, the astringent fruits are another key essential because you have the same thing going. Kidney's just a bunch of cells and two major fluids. All tissues in the body are just cells fed by and cleaned by the two fluids. And when you realize how simple that is, you start to realize healing is not an intellectual jargon. It is not an academic thing. It's learning the simplicity, but it's learning the rhythm and why detoxification. And detoxification is not our concepts, it's nature's concepts. Nature uses that. Earth uses that. And as you see, it's getting detoxifying even more aggressively here lately. And also how to approach a kidney transplant, how to strengthen new kidneys. Same way. I've had several kidney transplants. Chiropractor had a kidney and a liver. I think he had 3. Oh my God. But he did well on herbs and the raw foods. And I think that's the key, is bringing the love of all tissues in the body. Another thing is the mind. When you have a transplant, bring those cells into harmony with all the other cells in consciousness. It sounds quirky, but it is all about all these different states of consciousness. And so important to look at that. I do think the glandulars are key there, my dear one. And the herbs are key at that. I think the tonics, particularly the gland tonics, are going to be good. Remember, the adrenals must be strengthened as well as the kidney. They're partners. They're eternally attached like these friggin' love bugs down here in Florida. And at the same time, try to regenerate. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Love you, dear. Absolutely, one. I mean, you go in and you just... the beauty is, when you're eating the fruit and berry diet, they love you. It's like urine or watermelon or grapes or a grape mango or a plant-ripe pineapple. I mean, you have to look at that. Dead tissue without any spices on it, or a beautiful bowl of fruit. Come on. I mean, we have to have foods that love us. We have to start loving ourselves and consume foods that love us. And the herbs are here to love you anyway. God grows them for that. They're grown here for you. They love you. That's why they're here. Use me. I think, gosh, I've got so much to go through here. And some of these are quite long. Yaz, here's your thing here. I had 3 tooth fillings pop out in the last month, but I have no inner movement whatsoever to run to the dentist. I want to let the body do its thing. Oh, Yaz, you kick a butt kind of guy, you. I'm telling you, if we were in a place like Yaz in Thailand where you have your fresh market every morning, your trucks go by with the farmers that just pick their fruit. Oh, stop. And you're slamming the herbs. I mean, gee, many Christmas. You can't ask for anything better. And this is Paulo Indio. Thank you so much for answering my question about my almost 3-year-old and Giardia. After this third time my son got back with loose stools, I didn't want to give him Flagyl again. From what I've been learning from you, it had to be something other than Giardia. Yeah. Earlier this week, he made an x-ray of his tummy, came out, he has feces on both sides in the intestines, see. And that's just culturing medium. That's what you have to realize, Giardia or anything else is culturing medium. H. pylori, all this. Again, the focus is on the messenger, on nature being the problem, and not man being the problem. Not hand to mouth being the problem. Not dietary factors being the problem. And this is where this civilization will fail. The superior civilization coming will be born out of all you guys. There's no question. Because you're superior in the way you understand life, you're superior in your consciousness, and not to be superior meaning better than, but more aware than. And that builds a greater society, a more loving and harmonious society. So all the others will die off, no question. Maybe it's time for that. There's other planets and there's other things going on that souls can go to experience. This one needs a little elevation now. So why does he have all these feces backed up? You know what? Then he maybe he doesn't have proper peristalsis. Maybe there's starch, and starch is glue. Remember that? So maybe that's glued. Get the stomach and bowel number, whatever the child needs. Maybe use just a little bit of the GI broom and start cleaning that gut up. Start cleaning all this out. But also remember interstitial. Remember at this age, kidney and adrenals always. And so you always want to deal with that with your children, whether they need it or not. Just assume they do. What are you going to hurt? Nothing. Check their urine. Are they filtering? All these things are key. He's just little people. I did learn that fruit juices with pulp are the best to clean the digestive system. Absolutely. They're astringent. High cleansers. Absolutely. But every time I give him more fruit, his stools go loose again. Yeah. Well, I'm going to say that he probably has a hepatic, which is liver or pancreatic problem. When you eat fruits and you get loose stools, then you're probably looking at pancreatic or more probably pancreatic than hepatic. Mainly when you see the fats. But if you get a little picture of his eyes or look at him with a magnifying glass and a light, look at the liver region in the right eye and the pancreatic regions and see what you see. See if you see undigested foods in his stools. Can't hurt to work on those tissues anywhere. Anyway, just a little liver, gallbladder formula, get the glycerins maybe, and just a small dosage for the child. Help to inspire more liver and pancreatic function will be helpful. If you have to go to the vegetables for a while, go to the vegetables for a while. Let those vegetables do a little cleaning. It's a good roughage. Let them do a little cleaning for a while and then move slowly back into the fruits. And then I think your boy will tolerate that. Sometimes because of these weaknesses, we can't deal with the fruits. Isn't it too bad? Everyone around me blames fruit or too much of it. Well, if you have a good fruit diet, you'll have the best stools in the world. You have to look at what's going on inside the child. What tissues are involved, and then fix those tissues. Because these foods are normal, will give you normal stools. And I've always said, if you get diarrhea with these, then you've got a GI tract problem. And you can see that he does. and suggestion that he's not digesting well anyway also has low digestive enzymes. So you could use the pancreatic formula there and give him some low dosages for children and go into working on his pancreas. That might even be a better take. That'll increase digestive enzymes. That'll also help break up the fecal matter on the wall. Getting the GI broom a little bit with him and the stomach and bowel formula will help clean all that off and any plaque that's on there. But don't forget the kidney and adrenals too. I know there's still a lot of people that don't understand the body, doesn't understand where we are, and understand the need of where we need to be and why we have weaknesses. There's so much to this, and man remains ignorant. I'm proud of you guys in every way for standing tall, learning, and plowing through the ignorance and the misunderstandings. Because we have to understand when you can't eat fruit, and we're frugivorish bodies, we've got something wrong, something going on. And just like you found, there's fecal matter impacted on bowel wall. This is common stuff. He might be pocketed, so you want to look at parathyroids. I mean, there's so much to look at, but what's beautiful is you're learning the tools to fix. And that's what's key. This is the Fix-It diet. This is the Fix-It program. I was going to write a book, I had it about half done, called the Fix-It diet. Everybody had the South Beach diet and all this crap. The Fix-It diet. How do you fix why you're obese? How do you fix it? And understanding why you are is key. You see these Jenny Craig diets and stuff, and you eat anything you want and stuff like this, and it's like, oh. Thanks. I'm glad you hooked there, my dear one. And thanks so much for watching our videos. Excuse me. This is Victor. Yeah, I appreciate you watching our videos, Victor. I have been following you for almost a year now. Yeah, good man. I have recently been informed that I have an integral, I never could pronounce this right, but he's got a hernia near the belly button. I can't find any videos with this topic. If you could please describe what I should do physically and take orally. Thank you, Victor. You know, you want to go, always when you have a herniated area, you want to go into the parathyroid and make sure you're utilizing calcium, number one. Number two is you want to get interstitially and move these acids out. These are weaknesses of connective tissue. Excuse me. And you want to get in there and get these acids out of these tissues so the tissue can restore itself. No different than if you're going after anything else we've been talking about, Victor. But key point here is parathyroid gland. If you're bulging anywhere, you can wear a belt. The thing with groin hernias is that it's difficult because you're always in activity, so there's always pressure. And you could also clean up that gut to remove any pressure that might be on this hernia. And that'll be very helpful. But you just have to let tissue strengthen, and to strengthen is to clean and to strengthen both. You got to do both sides of this always, and then you'll be successful with that. Absolutely. I think this one needs to be addressed by me. I don't know. Open hand. Crisis Capone. I don't know if this is a YouTube question. Let's see. I've been working. Let's see. I had an appointment last November on Skype. Things have been going really well. 2 weeks ago, I had been taking a maximum of 8 units per day of Norvorapid. I used to take 60 units per day. So down to 8 from 60. That's pretty good. This must be type 1. My diet is at least 90% raw. I felt I have been nearly on the mountain. And then, bang, a healing crisis would be putting it mildly. Oh, look at this. I went from dancing in the moonlight to complete and utter despair. You know, that's a bitch about, sorry my language, but that's a bitch about healing crisis. And I mean, they can bring back your symptoms with a vengeance. And we talk about that. You work through this. Now, this, I don't know when I got September 18th, or 16th. This is common stuff, and I've talked about this before on video. It's true with neurological problems too, MS, all these things. Bang, your problem is in your face right now. Keep plowing through this, man. Plow right through it again. keep going, because this is how you do it. I am having a real problem trying to deal with this alone. Do you think it is possible that I could pay you a visit in early November for a month? I can't assure you I won't get in the way. Oh, this is a type 1 diabetic, almost off of insulin after 30 years. So this goes back to this other type 1 diabetic. This one is another example of someone who went from 60 to 8 and now almost insulin. But remember, when you have these healing crises, it's just like these weaknesses are going, here's your weakness again. But that tells me you're on the verge of elimination. And I'm just saying that because this is what we see. I've seen this in all levels of problems, from MS coming back on them and then gone, to scleroderma. Oh man, back again, and then gone. I've seen this over and over and over again. Ride this wave, bro. Ride this wave. This is probably your last wave. So ride it, and you've made yourself home. Keep working that body back, because see how beautiful it's responding? These are typical healing crises for all your healers out there. This is a typical scenario that you run into. I'm going to have them contact you and make sure that you're doing okay here. But absolutely, this is a typical healing crisis, and typical right in our face again. Matter of fact, let me put that like that. But you'll be fine. You're doing well. And this will just show you, this is about, most of your type 1s have been doing well like this. And you just have to work yourself through this for that the first question on the fruit and diabetes and type 1 and stuff. You have to work yourself through these things, man. You can't just sit there and even, you can't, well, no matter how long it takes, because what do you got to lose? You know, you're eating superior foods, you're eating foods that are raw, you're not meant to eat cooked foods. That destroys food. There's no way you can convince yourself or anyone else that cooking your foods or eating high protein is a healthy maneuver, because it's exactly what man's doing. And look at man. So you can't convince anybody out there that raw foods are bad for you, because that would be insane. That would show how low man has got. I mean, that would be like a turtle crawl in consciousness. So there's nothing out there. And then you have to look at your vertebrae. What's your body designed to eat? What we've been eating has been why we're where we are. Keep that in mind always. Now, let me see here. This is Mark. I wrote to you not so long ago about the brain damage and the sun gazing. Oh, yeah. You know what, Mark? I've been thinking about you. And that's another thing out there, sun gazing. It's like, oh, my God. Drinking urine, sun gazing, drinking gallons and gallons of water, eating high-protein diets, all this kind of crap that's out there, guys. You got to bury it out back. I have a couple of questions for you. Number one, I love herbs, but could you explain your experience with water fast and the level of detox compared to the raw fruits? Yeah, which I just did. Good. I think good. Maybe that was your other question on the thing. I bought a couple of herbs from a shop in my area. Gotu kola, ginkgo, skullcap. Oh, you're on the right path. These are great herbs. I love Gotu kola. Is one of my favorites. If ginkgo works, that's great. There's been a lot of up and down, but you know what? It's a great, brings more blood oxygen to the brain. Skullcap is another one of my favorites. You know, working on the neurological system of the body, absolutely. Cassandra berries, definitely a strong healer. High flavonoids. Bilberry is another one. Get yourself bilberry. Bilberry is specific for the eyes. Very powerful. High flavonoids. So I would add bilberry to this mix. But that's a perfect mix right there, man. With using them as a TB. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So you can eat them, too. You know, I have to put myself in nature. In nature, I'd be eating them raw. So I have to feel that that's superior in every way, but not practical in the way we are in the world. So the teas are great, but I always worry about overcooking things out. Of course, when you get to the berries and stuff, you don't even have to boil them. You just steam them or simmer them. But there is also, remember, raw eye tissue. And if you burnt your eyes real bad, that might be very helpful. There's all the comfrey leaves. That's excellent for burns. You know, there's Irish moss, all of this. And then, of course, make sure all your glands are working. Make sure you're filtering lymphatically. All these things. Go fix the body totally, no matter what you're focusing on top of that. But yeah, you're doing great. Good stuff. And if you make a tea, wash your eyes with that tea. As for the sun gazing and isolation of chemistry and magnetics, I feel that it burned my vision memory cortex because I have a hard time figuring out the space, the distance. Yeah. Well, Mark from Quebec. Work to get it back, Mark. I say it's a work to get it back. And you can get it back. There is nerve regeneration. But for me, nerve regeneration is a high fruit, berry, and melon experience. It is not a vegetable experience. So I don't think you're going to be successful if you eat a lot of vegetables. So get yourself up on a high level of diet and add the bilberries to this. Think about getting an raw eye tissue. There's all levels of that, and work that. Work that program, brain and nerve formula, just like you're doing. Good take, good guy. I love you guys. You guys are really learning. These herbs are magic. Paul Twitchell wrote a book, Herbs, the Magic Healers, and what an appropriate title that was. Incredible, because that's just what they are. They are the magic healers of life, and they are our partners in life here, not to be scorned. So enjoy them. And work with them, but also work with the diet. You can't just do one or the other. I think that the two together is key essential in today's world of weaknesses and genetics. If you have a low affordability, go to the teas. Always go to the teas, and do like Margaret. Go to the health food stores or go to an herb shop if you can find them. Find some raw herbs or dried herbs and make teas out of them, or grind them and encapsulate them yourself. That's what Yaz is doing, is making his own. How we doing? Oh, good. Am I still clicking?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Keep going.
Good.
I just wanted to see how much time you.
You know what? We'll do the. We'll do the.
Or are you still going?
I'm still going.
All right.
So you know what? Let's do. I'll come in the morning and we'll shoot the DVD for why I created the herbs.
Hey, perfect.
Good. I'm still going.
Intermission, right?
Intermission.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
There you
Little Halloween house.
go.
Oh man. Oh, this is a gentleman that called into place an order for herbs. Would appreciate a video or topic in a video about prostate issues. If you have a prostate issue, and this also go to the females and have ovarian cysts or uterine fibroids or endometriosis or atypical cells, or we have prostatitis over here, or prostate cancer, female cancers. These are all kidney problems. Why? Because the kidneys filter the sewage from the cells in the prostate, the cells in the ovaries, the cells, the vaginal wall, the cells that make up the uterus. The kidneys filtrate the acid waste from all parts of the human body, as well as the skin is another kidney of yours. This is why we talk about kidney filtration as being vital and key. If you're having a hard time, go on a little lemon fast. Go on a 10-day lemon fast. Pull the astringents into there. But I can say that when you're looking at kidney failure, you're looking at prostatitis. The prostate's just a gland. It's just a gland made of cells. And those cells depend upon being fed and depend upon being cleaned. Their waste removed from them. Just like the cells in the ovaries, the cells in the vaginal wall, the cells in the uterus, but also the cells in the liver, the cells in the bowel wall, the cells in the lung, the cells in the eye, everywhere has the same issue to deal with. That's why this is always a systemic problem. When you have prostatitis, believe this or not, you're having a systemic problem. And that's why you have to address it systemically. You can take prostate formulas, and these are basically, saw palmetto, the berries, which are anti-inflammatory, meaning antacids, high in flavonoids. In reality, to fix this problem, you must fix your kidneys. And what's on top of the kidneys? Your adrenal glands, and that's where your testosterones and your estrogens come from. So it is key essential to get rid of prostatitis or any prostate cancer. You have to get rid of the acids that's causing it. It's that simple. And to do that is to get the kidneys working. So to do that is you get on these detox programs. Use the kidney formulas. Use 2 of them. One a capsule and 1 tincture. Same thing with the lymphatics. Look at what we've been talking about. Get into the bowels and clean them up. You can take a prostate formula. But for you men with prostatitis, I wouldn't be taking, and we just did one on testosterone, and why do not do testosterone, even if you're low in it. Stay away from these acids for a while until you can heal these tissues up. And you only can heal these tissues up when you remove the acids that's burning them. And that's a kidney experience. And so it's always kidneys, 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 and the adrenal glands on top. Fix all those, and you won't have prostate problems anymore, no matter how that fixes itself. Premature ejaculation, all these things that a person has can be fixed by making yourself healthy. Think holistic. Make my body healthy. Not just my prostate gland, because it's impossible. It's impossible to go in and make one gland healthy and no one else healthy. Your body works together as a team, just like we're working together as a team. And we're a mighty fine team. I'll tell you, I love each and every one of you. I'm so proud of you guys, it's not even funny. You've done well on yourselves. And I don't have enough good things to say about you guys. I might not have all the time to give to you that I would love, but I'm hoping that will change. This was sent in to me. It came off so small, it's hard for me to read it. This is Candy. Hi, Candy, sweetheart. Got some blue eyes, really hard to see. When you pull back, though, you have like a skin ring on the outside, so that tells me that your thyroid, you're not getting enough body temperature to sweat. You look a little thin, so you want to think about malabsorption and the like. Your eyes look almost gray when you pull back, even though they're blue. Looks like heavy lymphatics to me. Looks like your pupil's really, really small there. So it's hard for me to see at that distance back, honey. Let's see if you gave me something up closer. No, not close enough. I need to be real close, sweetheart. I mean, you really need to be right up within inches there to get the picture. Try another one and send it to me. But see, I can tell you 2 things. You got a skin problem, you're not sweating enough, you have lymphatics going on there. It looks like a little bladder maybe over here. I'm just kind of guessing here from what I can see, some lacunas here. Looks like a little hip on the right side. You've got a dark spot there in the bronchial trunks, say 3 o'clock on the left eye. That could feed bronchial trunk or be a heart issue with that. Also showing me upper neck there, maybe even some throat, but a lot of white and a lot of skin problems. Let's see what you say here, dear one. I am a 31-year-old female. I have been sick since I was about 9. Isn't that sad? I mean, that's what keeps me pumped. It's cases like you, Candy, where you poor soul, you've been suffering since you're 9 years old. We don't need a world like that. We can change those things. And it's only all of you that are going to make these changes, because everyone else is going off onto their own tangents and falling off the cliffs. First being diagnosed with an abscess in my throat. So right off, this in your eyes, from what I can see already, tells me heavy lymphatic. All that white in your eye, sweetheart, that's what lumps and humps and tumors are made from. And that's that you're heavy. You're heavy with that. And what I see here in you is, look at your kidney, particularly your right kidney. That is showing real strong there. So, it looks like your thyroid is down, not giving you enough body temperature to sweat. Therefore, in your genetics, your skin's down. So you're not eliminating well from the skin, and you're not obviously eliminating well from your kidneys, and everything is building up. So you're getting swellings, and that's back when you were young. 10 years later, I was diagnosed with hyperthyroid. There you go. There you go. Now, hyperthyroid would have meant you should be sweating a lot, and you have a lot. Hyperthyroid can be caused from the same exact thing that hypo is. And in your acute and subacute stages of acidosis, it can create hyperactivity of all the tissues. But it always will end up hypo, always. Always, always, always. Or what they call Graves. I had the eye protrusion, but it went away with treatment. Oh, oof, oof, oof. Methimazole or whatever. Oh, God. I was also on Prozac for many years due to anxiety. Well, here we go. There's your adrenal glands. All right, we're right there at the kidney now. We're at the kidney and adrenals. So there's what I'm saying. You're not filtering through those doorways, and you had to go on Prozac for the anxieties. I stopped the Prozac in '09 when I became pregnant with my son. Ooh, you got to work on your son too, sweetheart. Once my son was born, I started getting migraines, daily headaches, and visual snow. Ooh. I had dealt with this for 4 years now and started getting used to it and the idea that there isn't a cure for it. No, you don't get settled in with that one. That's medical settling in. No way. Now, recently when I am driving, I am noticing that the movement of passing vehicles is no longer fluid. They seem to stutter in vision, and this has been quite alarming. Well, you need a real big detox, sweetheart. And I'm saying your son's going to have a little bit bigger problem here. You have to see where your thyroid is now. Got to get yourself sweating. Get out in the sun, whatever you got to do. Steam or dry saunas. Get yourself sweating and get those kidneys filtering. Get your adrenals up. Get over this anxiety. Get your nervous system rebuilt. You can use upper circuit brain and nerve. That'll really help to get this going, the central, also the part of the parasympathetic. Really, get yourself turned on again. But you've got a lot of lymph to clean out. As much as I can see, I see heavy, heavy lymph. And that's why you get all these swellings. That's all your cancer stuff, sweetheart. Get your stuff cleaned out there. I am scared that my brain is damaged either from taking Prozac. If any cells are damaged, sweetheart, you can rebuild them. Just remember that. Don't freak out. Just rebuild. Clean, strengthen, clean, rebuild, repair. That's what you're into. Get into that. Forget what other people say. They don't have experience in this. We do. Clean, strengthen, repair, rebuild, and genetically so. And your son too, my dear. Get on those high fruits. Get your body detoxified. I experimented with drugs as a teen. Don't worry about that. Either way, here are some pictures of my eyes. I started getting yellow-brown spots around the time I used the skim board on the beach for hours at a time. Well, yellow-brown, that could be sulfur spots. Brown definitely is chronic areas building up in the body, so I wore sunglasses for the most part. I was diagnosed with allergies to corn. Well, that's your lymph system, and you could be allergic to a million things as your life goes on there, honey. I had a positive Lyme, absolutely. Well, you know what? Culturing medium. Neurotransmitters are down, but a negative Western plots, and so my neurologist told me it wasn't Lyme's. Blah, 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 blah. I have noticed that anytime I have anything with amino acids or glutamate, that my symptoms get worse. No kidding. That's why, this is the whole thing, sweethearts, proteins and stuff. Our body's not designed for them, not designed for complex amino acids at all, and the proof is just what you're fighting there. But get yourself detoxed, get your nervous system up, get your adrenals up to get your nervous systems up. Clean the brain, get sinus drainage, open up all the doors, get that gut clean, get your skin breathing, because everybody's staying home in your body. And the people that's staying home, you don't want home. Those are your proteins, which we call acids, and they need to come out. Most acids are in the form of amino acids, proteins, and we need to get them out. We consume way too many on top of not getting rid of what we can't use or the byproducts of cell metabolism or respiration, or however you wish to look at this. So I hope this all helps you today, guys. I got so much to cover here, but I think we did good. I love you all. I look forward to the class. Look forward to seeing you guys. And I bid you well. And may the blessings be. And I love you all. Go out and heal up the world, guys, because we're all a team. Remember that. And we all need to work in harmony. If someone's suffering, we'll help you. And don't need to pick us apart. We're here to help you. And we do our very best because it isn't easy. Some of these cases are deep, and we're working hard to get them. And so at least you're on the right path to Wellville. Just remember that. You're getting yourself off the road to Hellville and on the road to Wellville. Love you all, and see you next time.